Can't believe I'm sitting here and saying I hate you, Manchester City, more than life, and Arsenal. You know what? It's not the worst point in the world for you, but guess what, man? You lot have just absolutely handed Liverpool the damn title. Mont is screaming in his room right now. Still, he's got the biggest smirk, and then you got Rums and Welks, who I have to go and talk to about some of this stuff. I couldn't believe that. You know what? It's not even down to Manchester City. Why did Arteta have to employ his best Eric Ten Hag tactics? Defend as well as you can and break. Sometimes I saw 6 at the back. Sometimes I saw 5. It was just annoying in the first half. And then, Pep tried the most with whatever he had at his disposal. And we're going to be talking a little bit about the Kevin De Bruyne, Foden, and more as well. But other than that, please smash the like button. As I always ask, likes go a long way. I'm going to break down the game as best as possible. And honestly, I'm not impressed. Yeah. So let's get straight into it. Man City dominated the game from start to finish. I think Arsenal's best period in getting any sort of controls in the game is probably the first 5 minutes, maybe if that. But that was shocking. And you know what? We all knew it was going to be pragmatic. We all knew it was going to be cagey, but not that cagey. Like, I'm not too sure. Pep's a madman. Pep is actually a madman. I've got all different notes in my iPad and everything just to break it down when I need to, right? Traditional fullbacks, no one inverted. Aki then gets injured. Even Rico Lewis comes on and still plays traditional. I think all the defenders today can hold their heads high, especially Saliba and Gabriel. Now, no one is more of a man in the match today than Saliba or Gabriel. You choose, because they're both monsters. They had to deal with a lot in the box, and I think you lot have to agree. Kanji played seriously well. Diaz was just pretty basic, I suppose, but Kanji was dealing with a lot, even driving forward with the ball. You see Pep go for a 4-3-3, and then he kind of made it back into that traditional what he does with like a free Rico inverting next to Rodri and then pushing up. And then even then, he had all the time, he might have had, what's it called, on the wing, he had Bernardo Silva. Sometimes he would go into the pivot, and then you see Rico Lewis out wide. You see De Bruyne kind of close to Haaland, and then he changed it all again. He put Doku on the right, Grealish on the left, make it pinpoint. Foden literally was not effective whatsoever in the left-hand side when he was trying to pin it there. I think Grealish was attracting more Arsenal players, but they weren't getting baited out because they were defending really well in a lot of spaces. Partey solidified that, in my opinion. It was a good run out for him. He had about 25 plus extra injury time as well. Jesus worked his socks off. We might as well call Saka Mr. Cardio, because he didn't do anything that game either. It was just a cagey match. There's not really much to actually talk about with it, but I'm trying to think of it on a logic sense. Pep changed the system about 3 different times, and they always had to include one player, and obviously the one that can be the match winner. And I thought he was the reason why Manchester City couldn't go in and get the goal. I'm going to be so honest. This is why a lot of City fans are calling out for Foden to be in the middle. KDB has offered nothing ever since that madness that he had at Luton. The guy's offered absolutely nothing. I think we're maybe it's a bit premature, but maybe the fall of KDB might be starting now. He might be slowing down. But I did like a couple of his movements, like when he was driving down the left and driving down the right on a more of a counter attack. But when it came to crossing and the final ball, maybe he's just not on form. Maybe it's a bit harsh to say he might be slowing down, but he really did not set the tempo. Bernardo Silva was everywhere. Like, you see Doku on the right and you see Grealish on the left. And then after that, this is why I say Pep's a madman. You know how you got a Kanji, Diaz, and then obviously Vardio. Sometimes you just left with 2 at the back because Arsenal will pin back so far, right? You just saw Vardio and Rico Lewis at times act as the pivots next to, obviously, this was a single world as a trio next to Rodri. It was more like a 2-3, and then everybody else go do what you want. Grealish might come inside, and then KDB had this positional sense of going out to the left and hugging that side. Same with Doku. So, I mean, he had a lot of work to do, but when it came to them tight, nippy areas, Haaland couldn't get no service. Haaland was frustrated. He's so frustrating to watch as well. I wanted more from Haaland, but the thing is, I could talk about Pep being a madman, trying all different things, but at the end of the day, it's like Arteta went there and said, a point's enough. Saliba, Ben White, Gabriel, even when Tomiyasu come on, pretty colossal in my opinion as well. Kivior, probably the right change. I would say Arsenal looked a little bit nervous. I expected a little bit better from Declan Rice's corners as well. Like, they were not really beating the first man too tough, and it was kind of annoying because I really want I wanted Man City to really lose that game, ideally. But now I'm just thinking, all these Liverpool fans celebrating the crap out of that. Guess what you've done? You've made it Man United's job to make sure you lot get put back in the title race. I can't have Liverpool in any shape, way, or form winning this damn league. It's impossible. I'm not allowing it. I don't want to allow it. And it's not even in my power. So what am I even talking about? So yeah, was Arteta a bit of a coward? You know, it's all questions. I want to know what his thought process is. Or was it just that Man City were just that good on the ball that they couldn't do anything? Because when I saw the press, it really looked like a one-man press. And then when it did come to a press with like the midfield, like Erdegaard, the Sakas and Martinelli's, even when he came on for Saka and Havertz, it was clustered there. But when it came to the midfield, it was a bit like the defensive part of the midfield and the defense. They're a bit too far back. And that's not the vibrant Arsenal that we see where they were literally putting teams in prison, literally pinning them back in own areas. This is why people appreciate Klopp, the anti-tiki-taka man himself. And it's just absolute powerhouse domination football on the forefront. You know, this is what it is. Simple as that. You know, I just feel maybe both teams were there for the taking, but when I really deep it, it's like I thought Arsenal could have just done so much more, and it's so annoying. Again, a point's not the worst place in the world. You typically lose there. You know, even then, Man City, like with a point, it's not even good enough for them. It's maybe both teams are at the title race, you know, because I don't see where Liverpool drop points except for Argaff. And right now, they got, what is it, a 2-point lead on Arsenal? It's not the end of the world, but their fixtures are mental. And you got Arsenal having to go to Brighton away. I think they'll beat them. And then you got that colossal fixtures. And then obviously Man City will be looking to somehow gain some points. Because right now they're falling behind Liverpool. And I just don't see how it happens. You know, that 4P is looking a bit long, which I'm not actually too fussed about. But Liverpool, I can't be having them joint trophies with us in terms of league titles. That's disgusting. Yeah, so yeah, look, John Stones missing. Would he have made a difference in the game? I think Rico Lewis, that would be a bit of a bit harsh to say, like Lewis, and even when Ake was on the pitch, Vardy, they all did a good job. They done their jobs. Defense done their jobs. Moved the ball well. Rodri. You know, I thought we had a really good game. Standard procedure for him. Declan Rice was shutting down the middle. I thought he was quite good as well. I think he looked quite comfy when Partey came on. Jesus, probably, yeah, a bit of gas work. Could he have done a little bit better? Yes, but I don't think anybody else would have done anything. The most annoying part was Trossard when he didn't keep going forward. And that moment was there when Martinelli was back post. Why did he not keep going forward? That's what I want to know. And sometimes as well with Haaland, the bagsman, you know, he tried to cut it back and he missed Diaz. Moments again. Raya was the best chance of the game that probably tested the keeper. We could probably say was in the first half, and that Ake header, that free header that obviously skimmed his head rather than getting any great connection. But 0-0, advantage Liverpool, definitely league favourites, definitely new conversations. You know, are they out of the title race? Let me know in the comments below and big up yourselves. Don't forget to smash the like.